Hey, what's up, fam? We're back. Welcome to this episode of 49 Faithfullee. I'm your host, Miriah Lee, and finally, my co-host has decided to get his ass back to work after playing all week and weekend and doing whatever the hell he does. Who knows? So welcome back, TL. It's nice to have you back. And we're joined by a very special guest, a queen of mine, a sister of mine, Denise. Denise, I appreciate you joining us. How are you guys
Hi.
doing?
Thank you guys for having me. This is a true honor for me. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
Of
no
appreciate
course,
it.
of
worries.
course.
You're
Thank you
welcome
for joining
anytime.
us.
Yeah, and I'm back. I got a little tan. Went to the
I tell.
beach. You can tell. Yeah, I got a little
Hmm.
got a little darker. I was at the beach in San Diego. Had an awesome time. I was there for 5 days. Went to SeaWorld. Went to Belmont Park. Yeah, just hung out, ate some good food, ate at a nice steakhouse. So yeah, it was amazing. I'm glad to be back, but at the same time, I wish I was still on vacation. So
Yeah,
you know how that goes.
Okay, yeah, I bet.
that
That's
sounds
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
I have a question about your vacation. Has
Mhm.
SeaWorld changed any? I haven't been to SeaWorld in years.
Yeah.
So they've added a lot more rides. So which is
Oh,
kind of good. Which is kind of good. They have like a lot. They added like two new roller coasters in the last couple of years. So they still have the Atlantis. They still have the Manta, but they've added like two or three new roller coasters for older people. Then they also have
mhm.
like like a Sesame World inside the park, where like the littler kids can get on the rides and stuff. And they still have all the attractions. So I feel like SeaWorld has improved because there's a
Oh,
lot more
okay.
to do now.
Cool.
The only thing that's changed is now, as you guys know, in California, it's a rule that the trainers can't go inside the water with the orcas anymore.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the
Oh,
orcas, yeah, the orcas can still do the tricks. Like they still have them do their tricks and stuff, but they can't go in the water with them anymore because of the killings that happen with the trainers and stuff like that. So when you take something out of their natural habitat, they're gonna snap eventually. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so they had the trainers stand on this stage that goes over the water, and they talk about them. They talk about the history. It's like four orcas. They say their age, stuff like that, and but they still do these signals with their hands that the whales know to do their tricks. So yeah, but they still get in the water with the dolphins. They still get in the water with the sea otters, stuff like that, but just not the orcas.
oh,
That's,
wow.
I mean, that makes sense. It only took how
Well,
many people to die at, not
Yeah,
just that SeaWorld, but amusement parks with, whales and sharks and all this other shit, that like how many people had to die for them to actually, put a change to something.
yeah,
As with anything, like I always say that about like the roads and everything, like how many people have to die on this road before we put in a median, and don't have traffic going right next to each other like this, like 10 people
hmm
before they finally put in the median.
oh,
Like, why
yeah.
not just
true,
put in the median when you build the shit?
true, yeah.
Well, I mean, Mariah, out here in Arizona, like, I don't know how often you guys ever come out here, but like out here, like, there had to be multiple deaths of people because we have a bunch of roundabouts out here,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
older people, whatever, would get on the freeways the wrong way. And there'd be a bunch of wrong way driver killings on our freeways and multiple deaths before they finally like put up big signs and did all this stuff that's like wrong way, for people to pay attention, like
Yep.
don't get on this way, like,
It's ridiculous.
yeah.
Let me say what's up to everybody in the chat, and then we'll get on some football talk because I'm sure you guys aren't here for SeaWorld talk.
Oh,
Sure they
I
are.
Melissa,
apologize. That was my fault. That was my fault.
No, you're fine.
it's okay. We're used to talking about other stuff when we start, so no problem. Melissa, first in the door. What's up? Appreciate you. Throwback, Tanya, Bryant. Get down the list here. See if anybody else snuck in. John, JV, appreciate you. Rick Diaz, what up? What up? Bill, hey Bill. All right, caught up. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Friday to those that work, Monday through Friday jobs. And then for the rest of us, whatever. Um,
For the rest
before
of us, whatever.
before we get started, let's start off with there's a 49ers birthday today. Happy birthday to Ambry Thomas. And I thought, when I was going through the giveaways earlier, I didn't even think we should do an Ambry Thomas giveaway since it's his birthday. So we'll add
Happy
him to the
birthday.
giveaway list. Yes. Um, let's start off with some, before we get into Bears Week, since TL hasn't been around for a while, we have some stuff to go over. First, I want to talk about and get your guys' opinion on, as soon as I opened my eyes this morning and, I checked Twitter and, see what I missed and whatever, the very first thing, I refresh my Twitter, the very first thing I see pop across the feed is talking about Trey, how he wasn't given captain. And, that's, another sign showing that the team doesn't have trust in Trey Lance and yada, 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 right? That if Shanahan had trust in Trey Lance, he would have vetoed the fucking vote and just gave it to him. Like, all the stupidest shit that I've ever heard. And, we're constantly talking about the national media, how they don't give the 49ers any credit. They're always, talking shit about Trey Lance. This isn't even the national media this is coming from. This is coming from people that are 49ers fans, supposedly, and that cover the 49ers. And they're the ones out there spreading these false narratives, this fucking bullshit to get people to click on their shit and whatnot. And it's like, we're, and even Breezy and on Nitty Gritty, they talked about how, and as well as Mike on Nothing But Niners, they all talked about how, us as 49ers content creators, we should be upping our team. If we don't want these bad, false narratives about Trey Lance out there, we should be putting the right narratives out there. We should be putting the right info out there. These people don't watch our team. They're not at the practices, these national people. They don't know shit about the 49ers when they put pen to paper or fingers to keyboard to type on freaking Twitter. Everything that they're spewing, they don't know shit. The only thing that they're spewing is stuff that they hear from, oh, well, I seen a 49ers beat writer write this, so this must be true. Oh, well, I seen Mr. Stats write this, so that must be true because he has a huge following with a huge 49er, podcast and stuff. So what he's saying must be true. Yet he's one of the main ones out there pushing these fucking false narratives all the time. And it's like, and, one day you're like upping Trey Lance that this is your guy. You can't wait till Trey Lance plays and blah, blah, blah. And then the first thing that as soon as Jimmy's back or as soon as, stuff doesn't fit however you feel, freaking Trey Lance doesn't get the captain patch. Trey Lance hasn't done shit to fucking get a captain patch. Let's start there. Coming from one of the biggest Trey Lance fans you're ever going to meet. Trey Lance does not deserve to have the captain's patch just because he's a fucking quarterback. Let's start it there. And yet, it's like, if this guy would just, say, why the team votes. So Shanahan has his press conference, says the team voted, Trey Lance got whatever the next one, 7th or whatever. I think there's 6 captains and he was 7th in voting. Ahead, let's keep in mind that Debo as well didn't get voted a captain. Debo that carried this fucking team last season didn't get voted a captain. Trey Lance finished voting ahead of Debo Samuel. Okay. Shanahan sits up there and says, this, and then today has to come out and talk about it again. This has no reflection on Trey Lance. They asked him, because, he doesn't have the C. Is he not expected to lead the team now? Like only captains are supposed to lead the team, right? And Shanahan's like, no, like that doesn't mean shit to me. Whoever's going to lead the team and is leader of this team is going to lead it regardless if they have that C on their chest or not. Like just because he didn't get voted a captain, he's just going to go sit in the fucking corner and be like, okay, I'm not breaking down the huddle. Okay. I'm not, like what are we talking about here? So it's just like pisses me off that these people that are supposed to be Trey Lance fans and 49ers fans are out there and they're the ones fueling these fucking false narratives and this bullshit that's out there. And then it's like, then you have the Jimmy Garoppolo fans buying into their every fucking word, and it's like, oh, well, if this guy that's a Trey Lance fan and a 49ers fan and has this big following is saying this, well, then that must be true. And it's like, I'm just so sick of this shit. What are your guys' feelings? I know that, you reached out, Denise, this week talking about that people are fucking crazy on Twitter. I agree. And so I know that you've been seeing some BS. I know TL hasn't been on Twitter much, this last week or whatever. Lucky for him. but I know that you've heard
Amen.
and seen and whatever. So,
Girl, 2000%, I agree with you. People have been driving me insane. Literally, I'm crazy as it is, but they've been driving me insane because you know what? Exactly. This not only is the national media coming for us, but our own fan base is coming for us. And this shit drives me crazy. First of all, Kyle Shanahan literally came out and said, we have multiple leaders on our team. You do not have to have a C on your chest to be a leader of this team. End of story. Also, I don't know if anyone read what I posted, but I posted, it was on 95.7, the game. It was, or on the morning roast. And Benjamin Albright, who doesn't even cover the 49ers, came on and basically said that uh, not the Lombardi who covers us, the other Lombardi. Is it Michael Lombardi? Is that who that guy
Yeah,
is?
yeah, it's Michael Lombardi. Yeah,
Yeah, he said basically that Michael Lombardi is full of shit and doesn't know what he's talking about, and all he does is push false narratives and bullshit. And then he even went after Peter King. He said Peter King doesn't know what he's talking about. He like doesn't watch the 49er games, like doesn't, all he said all these narratives that are coming out, he said, are not from people in the 40, like all these. I loved it. If you did not see what I posted, I'm telling you, like people who don't follow me, whatever, like that's cool. Whatever, no skin off
but
my
you
ass.
should. So make sure you go follow her right now.
But I'm just saying, like, you should just pull up, even if you just go to pull up that clip of Benjamin Albright. I'm telling you, you will love it because, and Miriah, all of you will love it because
Yeah,
he
I watched
literally
it.
says, right? He literally says that the 49ers don't leak this stuff. Like all this, they don't have faith in Trey Lance. They're not, they're worried about Trey Lance. That's why they signed Jimmy Garoppolo. They don't have faith in, he said, this is all horseshit. He said, they have the utmost confidence in Trey Lance. That is why they were trying to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. And the only reason they signed Jimmy Garoppolo is because, like, honestly, like, I know everyone hates Jimmy. I get it. I wanted Jimmy's ass gone too. But let's be honest. If Trey Lance gets hurt, Jimmy Garoppolo is the perfect backup. Like, please God, don't put that out in the atmosphere. We don't want Trey Lance to get hurt. We really want him to stay healthy all year long. The whole team needs to stay healthy. Please hear my prayers. Amen. Thank you, God. Okay, back to what I was saying. So, yeah, amen. So, Trey Lance, like, if that happens, then we've got the perfect backup. Is Jimmy limited? Yes, he's limited G for a reason. We all know he's limited, but we do know Kyle Shanahan can scheme around him and, make things work with what we have. I mean, all this shit, like, I just can't believe that 49er fans are like, oh, he's not a captain. Oh, you guys should be worried. Oh, he hasn't started any games. Like, people are talking shit about this kid and like trying to bury him before he's even started.
Yeah.
I had an argument with someone because they're like, this guy was coming at me and he's like, oh, you guys are so full of shit. Trey Lance is not a rookie. Trey Lance is the second-year starter. He's not a rookie. I'm like, what team are you watching? Trey Lance is a fucking rookie. He is not a second-year starter. I'm like, Trey Lance did not play last year. He played 2 games. He's like, well, that makes him a second-year starter. He's not a rookie. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. I basically ended it by saying, I can't argue with stupid, so I'm out. Like, whatever. That's it. I'm sorry, TL. Go ahead. I'll be quiet.
No, you're good to go. There's a couple more people in the chat. What's up, Dion? Yeah. So I agree with everything that you guys said. You guys said a mouthful, and I couldn't agree more. Here's what I will say too, just to add a couple of things onto this point here. Nick Bosa has been arguably a top 3 to 5 player on his team since he's been here. And he barely became a captain this year.
Exactly.
So what are we talking about here? Why are people getting so up in arms about Trey not being the quarterback? I mean, being the captain. And what made me laugh too is people were like, to argue their point, they were like, well, look at Zach Wilson, look at Davis Mills, look at Justin Fields, all the other stuff. Their captains, yeah, well, their teams are trash.
Yeah, they don't have studs on their team to be captains.
Their teams don't have 7 Pro Bowlers on their team. So it's easy to, I do look different,
God.
JV. I got a tan when I went to San Diego. I got a little darker.
So his freckles are showing more too.
Yeah. So it's just it's comedy to me that people are trying to use that as an argument with with Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones, all this other stuff. Show me. I think we were like second or third on the list with players in the top 100. So, like Miriah said, Trey hasn't proved anything yet. He has to prove it. It'd be stupid to give somebody a leadership role when he hasn't done anything. So that to me is hilarious. And then what David McNew said, I totally agree. I said this off, behind the scenes or whatever. I feel like some of these people, I'm starting to lose respect more and more every day for this 49ers fan base. I feel like a lot of people just talk ignorance and talk out of the side of their neck for clout. Like we live in a society where people love clout and they'll do whatever they have to do, say, just to get clicks, likes, followers, whatever the case may be. And it's sad. Like they need to look internally and how they feel about their life. And because people who sit there and chase clout and say stuff that they don't even believe in, to me, it's a sickness. I'm sorry. It's a sickness. Like, stand on what you believe on. This Stats on Fire guy, Rob Guerrero, whatever his name is, used to host spaces. I used to be all in on Trey Lance. Oh, Trey Lance this, Trey Lance that, this and that. But people are starting to get a hint, I guess you can say, and say like, oh, if you go against the grain, it'll get you more people who like you, more people not like you, more people who will give you likes and followers and stuff like that. Like, it's comical. Like, and like you said, Trey was voted ahead of Debo. So what does that say about Debo? Do the 49ers not trust him either?
Yeah. Like,
come on, man. People need to get it together. These people are absolutely ridiculous. Like I said, I'm losing more and more respect for this 49ers fan base because I feel like, we're not all on one accord. And I get it. We're not going to agree with every single player. I get that. But to sit there and beat up on guys and, and say stupid stuff and, the 49ers don't trust him. I don't know. I'll say this. And I love Kyle. I love Kyle as a coach. But it would be absolutely horrendous if Kyle didn't trust what he saw and all the research he had and use all that draft capital to trade up for a quarterback that he didn't want or didn't think he could trust. You know what I'm saying? So these people just need to shut their mouths and wait till trade. Let the young man get on the field first and let's see what he can do. And for other people, let's see what he can do. Like, give it, I mean, we were 3-5 last year. Nobody said anything about benching Jimmy. Well, I mean, at least the people who, people were sitting there like, oh, well, just give it a chance. And okay, you want to give this man a chance who's been in the league 8 years, but this man that's going into a second year, first year starter, you guys are not even giving him the benefit of the doubt. And that's what drives me nuts about this fan base.
Well, not just that, TL, but you just hit on something. So I need to say something really quick. You just hit on a point. Okay. That also irritates me I'm sorry. They also are coming out now and saying, oh, well, Kyle Shanahan got bullied into taking Trey Lance from Twitter and from, people in the building. He didn't want Trey Lance. He wanted Mac Jones. Are you people effing serious? Are you fucking kidding me? Are we really talking about the same coach? Because last time I checked, all you people on Twitter, most of you couldn't stand the man. You're like, oh, Kyle Shanahan, he's a jerk. Kyle Shanahan put Brandon Ayuk in the doghouse. Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody. Look how that turned out. Brandon Ayuk's supposed to be the standout wide receiver this year. So it looks like that turned out okay. That's called coaching. And I'm sorry, I know I'm a big Shanahan stan, but that's beside the point. My point still stands. You honestly think Kyle Shanahan's going to get bullied into picking a quarterback that he didn't truly want? Really? That's what you think?
And John Lynch sat up there and said, Kyle has last say on the quarterback. And he said, I would be stupid to not let Kyle Shanahan pick the quarterback that he wants.
Absolutely.
we know that Kyle has the final say on everything. Kyle wears the fucking pants in that freaking place.
That's
Like,
right.
it ain't
Kyle
John. So
Shanahan,
who bullied him?
yeah, Kyle Shanahan wears the pants in that family, sister. There ain't no doubt
Yeah.
about it.
Absolutely.
Kyle Shanahan is not getting bullied. I mean, let's be serious. Look at him on the sidelines. Do we not remember the last game? I honestly, I think it was against the Bears. Wasn't it against the Bears when he literally pulled his headset back and told Jimmy Garoppolo, "Can you handle this?"
Yeah,
Yep,
this
he
is
sure
simple
did.
shit. Can you handle
Yep,
this? Yeah,
he sure
that was the
did.
Bears because he was and Trey was warming up on the sideline.
Yep.
And if it wasn't for Debo taking that freaking play all the way, then that's what would have happened.
Yeah, he was like,
Debo saved fucking Jimmy's job right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's comical, Denise. It's
Yeah.
comical. Like for the man to get his first ever head coach. I mean, he was always a great offensive coordinator, but obviously being an offensive coordinator, you don't go in and get a final say on your quarterback. So you mean to tell me this man has his first ever head coaching job, has a chance to get the quarterback he wants, but nah, I'm gonna agree with everybody else. I'm not gonna pick Trey because I don't want.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to pick Mac Jones. I'm gonna pick Trey because I'm bullied into it. Miss me with that. Like, come on.
When his job, his future, his reputation, everything rides on this.
Yeah.
He's the one that's going to get fired if the quarterback and everything doesn't work out.
Yep.
You know, so why would he pick someone that he just got bullied into picking that he doesn't fucking believe in?
right?
His job is directly tied to Trey Lance's success now.
Absolutely.
Trey Lance out, Kyle's out. That's simple as that.
And let's be honest, let's be honest. Kyle Shanahan picked Trey Lance, and think about something. What does Trey Lance love to do? The things that we never saw Jimmy do.
Yeah.
Trey Lance is a bookworm. Trey Lance is studying all the time. Trey Lance is working on his mechanics all the time. Trey Lance is always working to be better. We never saw Jimmy working in the off season. We never saw Jimmy progress as a quarterback. We never saw any of that. I think that was one of Kyle's issues with Jimmy is he never got any better. Kyle is a fanatic. Kyle is football all the time. Yeah. Football. Trey Lance, football. I think that's what Kyle Shanahan fell in love with. Yep. Was like, right, you're just like me. You're a fanatic.
Exactly.
You're my guy.
I agree.
Yeah.
Let me say what's up to everybody that joined us. Raymond says, shout out to all the Niner fam in here. So hyped for Sunday. Can't wait. I agree. It seems like, man, it's been so long since we had meaningful football. It's like,
oh God, I know.
Let's see who else had joined. Ryan from No Border Sports. What's up, Ryan? Make sure if you guys aren't subscribed to him, you go and do so. He has a great show over there. Did I miss anybody? Oh yeah, Tia. She came in just in time to win. All she does is win.
Win. Winner, chicken dinner. I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, she's leading the winning. Dion, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. David McNew. Hello. I think I got everybody. If I missed you, I apologize. But I appreciate you all being here. And you said somebody else had joined? Chrissy. Hey, Chrissy. Where?
Niner Sickness Podcast.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Niner by Nature. Niner by Nature has been the biggest, sticking up for Trey the most, been dragging all these people in the Twitter streets. We appreciate you taking care of business for us.
Yeah.
Beto, what's up, Beto? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, I think, I'm just sick of this shit. Like, I'm just so ready for Trey to go out there and him and the entire team, because as they keep saying a million fucking times, this don't just ride on Trey. That they just go out there and take care of business. I would love to see the Bears just go out there and lay a freaking egg, like they're expecting rain. They're like, their running game is suspect. They don't have no wide receivers. So I'm not expecting that they're going to be able to put up too much points on our defense, especially with that defensive line, like healthy and yeah. So before we jump into that, let's go over. I know we touched on, obviously Trey not being a captain, but let's go over the captains that did get picked. And I know, one of our homies was out there, trying to push for Juice to get captain this season. And obviously we see that didn't happen as well, So it wasn't just Trey Lance, there's a lot of people that, fans wanted to see made captain that didn't get it. I'm trying to pull up the damn captain list. Where is it? But, like the same thing when I think about how it's like, who, if Trey Lance were to get it, who are you going to take off the list? Like who is, not deserving of it? And it would be the same with, anybody that then would get added. The same for Juice. Okay, well, who's Juice going to make it over? Now everybody wants to say point to Kittle. That's the first. Now, oh, well, Kittle got captain and he's hurt again and he might miss the first game. It's like nobody was expecting that he was going to be hurt, number one. Number two, just because he's injured, that doesn't make him less of a leader. Like,
Thank you. I was about to say that right now. Like who says an injury? Oh, he hurt his calf. His leadership is going down the drain. Like who does that? Like just because you're injured does not make you not be a great leader. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
And you know how stupid that is? That was the argument people were talking shit about Jimmy Ward, that he didn't deserve to be a captain because he's back to being injured all the time.
Yeah. So ridiculous. Like these guys can freaking help it.
I'm like, really?
So we got Trent Williams, George Kittle, Fred Warner, Jimmy Ward, Eric Armstead, and Nick Bosa. So obviously we touched on that. This is Nick Bosa's first season getting captain.
Going into his fourth year, mind you.
Yep. Jimmy Ward second. Eric Armstead third, and he's going into his seventh?
Like seventh or eighth, something like that, yeah.
So Fred's third, Trent Williams third. Yeah, so like I don't know who you would take off that list. Like Kyle said, well, we could have made it that we had 8, captains and 8, and then that would have put Trey and Debo both on there. But he said that he didn't want to have that many captains, whatever. So obviously next season, let's say, obviously if Trey has the season that, we're hoping that he has and that the 49ers have, I would, guess that Trey would be voted a captain next season.
For sure.
So somebody then is going to have to get taken off that list, whether that's because, if Jimmy Ward, something happens and he ends up signing a contract somewhere else or, we never know. But your thoughts on how the whole captain, out of the people that got captain, do you see, do you think that was the right group? Do you think that, anybody didn't get it that should have been on the list?
Well, you know me, like you talk about the Kyle Juszczyk thing. I'm a big believer of him. And I was honestly hoping he made the list. He made but it's voted on by the players. The players voted for the captain. So they're in there, they see them 24/7. So who are we to be like, oh, the captains are made wrong or whatever the case may be? Like whatever all, I don't know if the practice squad people get to vote as well, but let's just say they do. Who are we to tell all 70 men in the locker room that, oh no, you should have voted for this person or that person? They're around these players all the time. They see what they do. And honestly, it's not always, captains don't always have to be the best player.
Right.
You can be a leader on the sidelines. You know what I mean? So it just doesn't matter. It's not just about your playmaking ability. It's about how you handle guys. Are you able to talk guys off the ledge? Whatever the case may be, like if they're having a bad series or bad couple games, you pull them aside. Hey, you know what? Go ahead and keep your head up. It doesn't matter about your playing ability. So they obviously know what they're talking about. It has to do more with that because you look at Eric Armstead, he didn't even make the top 100 list.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that just goes to show you it's not always about your best players. It's who can be a great leader on the field and most importantly, off the field.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I have to admit, I was kind of shocked that Kyle Juszczyk did not make a captain just because he seems, again, but I agree with TL. He seems like he's a good leader, but we're not there. So we don't know, how it is in the locker room and how all that, transpires. But Like, I mean, you're talking about, like, you're definitely like all the people they pick, I think are great captains, like all pro Fred and like what's funny is the only person that I was kind of, notice they pick vocal leaders. The only person I would say is probably not a vocal leader is Bosa.
Yeah.
Like, is like, I think Bosa probably is more example than vocal, but like Jimmy Ward's very vocal, Fred's very vocal, you know, I I guess I don't know if I think Eric's very
Yeah.
vocal, but Eric also is very like
Mild
like on
mannered.
and off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but often on the field is very like action
Yeah.
oriented. Like he does a lot for the team, like on and off the field. So
Denise, real quick
anyways,
too, like even though Nick Bosa, like we're talking about the vocal stuff, even though he's not the most vocal person, I've heard nothing but good things about him being on the sidelines and staying after practice and showing other people on the D line technique. So
Yeah. I
that's
heard
so
he's
that
been spending a lot of time with Drake Jackson
yeah, like
and
teach yeah,
the
so
new
that's
guys
a
coming in.
leader. Yeah, he don't have to
oh
be
yeah,
vocal. You know what I mean? He can,
oh
like
no
I
no
said,
no, I'm
yeah,
not knocking
yeah,
him
no,
from.
yeah. So I'm just saying, like, no, this is for everybody else who are doubting the list. So it's like, yeah, I mean, for a player to sit there and he could easily be like, "Psst, I'm going home. I'm gonna hit the showers and go home." For him to
Yeah,
like be staying after practice and saying, "Oh no, this is what I do," teach them swim moves and technique and stuff like that.
yeah.
That's a leader. So,
Oh no,
yep,
absolutely. No, no, I agree with you. That's why I said I think he like by action, but no, I agree with you. Like him staying after and Nick's no dummy, let's be honest. He knows that if he like teaches Jackson like all the moves and everything, that only helps the team, having two pass rushers on each side that can dominate. That's only going to make us that much more lethal.
Yeah. Hey, Miss Deb. I appreciate you coming in, sister. Miss Debbie, she's my angel. She took care of me this week. I won't tell you guys why. I'll keep that between
nice.
us. But she did a very nice thing for me this week, and I truly, truly appreciate her. She's
Miss
been
Debbie's
she's an
he's
amazing,
everybody's angel.
yeah. She's an amazing woman.
Everybody,
She
yeah,
really comes through, and we need her. So it's really
he's
appreciated.
everybody's angel.
Hey, Sin.
Hey, Sin. So let's start getting into this Bears. Well, we'll do a giveaway. We'll start a giveaway. Everybody enter your numbers. And let's talk about,
Everyone.
we kind of touched on,
No,
we
I
kind
said
of,
good luck, everyone.
oh, yeah, good luck, everybody. Enter your numbers 1 through 100, no duplicates. For those that are new, we do a giveaway with random number generator. So everybody will enter their numbers in the chat. I'll give you guys a few minutes, and then I'll pull up the random number generator. Whoever is that gets the number or closest to will get a giveaway prize. So getting into week 1, and I saw somebody brought this up in the chat as well. We talked about Kittle. He obviously hasn't practiced all week. But it did come out today that, let me get the exact things that he said, because, now that media is back allowed in the locker room, so now we're getting to hear some things that the guys say throughout. It's nice having them back in there.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan, you need
Um,
to pick another number, brother. 27's already taken.
So Kittle said today he's feeling significantly better with his groin injury than he did earlier in the week and will do everything he can to play versus the Bears Sunday. So yeah, this obviously Shanahan talked about it, and he said that Monday George Kittle had got a groin injury, tweaked his groin a little or whatever. He thought that by that next day it would be better, at least good enough for Kittle to practice, but he couldn't. So they were saying yesterday that it was most likely he was going to miss the game. Now it's coming out that we know that Kittle, he tries to play, he's going to try to go out there. However, he has now this little, obviously, if he couldn't practice all week, whether that's because they were just, trying to be careful with him, stay off of it and we'll let it heal up. And maybe, hopefully by game time, it'll be better or whatever, whatever the reason being, he didn't practice. And that's all week. So going into this game, now it's supposed to be raining. They have turf. brand new turf that was just changed this week.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I saw
thought it
that.
had grass.
It's a rollout grass.
Yeah.
So it's still turf. It's not grass that's planted in the ground. And this is brand new that they just put out yesterday because the coach didn't like the grass that was there the week before, the one that they practiced on, because it rained and it got all smushy and torn apart and everything. So obviously the conditions aren't greatest, right? For somebody that's going into the game with a groin injury, if he does play. With this being the Bears, I'm not taking the Bears for granted. Any given Sunday, I'm a true believer of that. You know, we've seen the best of teams go in there and get spanked by the worst of teams. It happens every season. It'll always happen. So, but if you look at the two teams on paper lined up, there's a clear difference here. Okay. We can't act like it's freaking even here. The 49ers should go in there and take care of business. They're favored by 7 points. And that's being on the road. So, you know, like that's even crazier. Do you think if it were up to you, would you guys have George Kittle and George going into this game, and George Kittle's not 100%, right? Would you guys have him play if he's say 80%, or would you rather rest him and have him back for week 2 and on as it gets harder?
I would rest him. If we can't beat the Bears just because we're missing Ward or Kittle, and we have bigger issues, like I said, we should be able to go in here and dominate this team without Kittle. However, because I think Trey's going to have a decent game. I don't think he's going to blow the doors off. I think our defense is going to win us this game, if I'm being honest here. I think the pass rush and stuff. So in saying that, I think this is a huge test as well, just because the simple fact is I'm curious to see if he doesn't play, because I wouldn't play him unless he's 100%. There's too much riding on the season for him to play in this game. What I will say, though, is I think him not playing will be a big test for this offensive line, because we can truly see how good that they can be, because, you know what I mean, without him being in there. So, yeah, I wouldn't play him as the short answer. 80%, 70%, no, I'm not playing him unless he's like 95 or more. So.
Denise?
Yeah, I agree 200%. I would not play him. I would absolutely sit him and rest him until he's 100%. Even if George Kittle is pressing to play, if I was Kyle, I would sit him, because I'm like PL. If we can't beat the Bears without George Kittle, I mean, and I agree with TL too on the offensive line part. I mean, he would be a huge help blocking wise. But again, we need him for the tougher games. So if you put him out there at 80% and he makes his situation worse, then you just lost him for games that you really do need him for. So no, I would sit him.
Yeah, because let's be honest here. If they put him out here, hinders that growing more than he's out 2 weeks. And now what? Now he's missing at Denver, and we can't afford for him to miss that game.
Yeah, no, he needs to. The whole thing is, I know players are like admired for pushing through injury and playing, but like they're at some point, you know, you're better off sitting. Like I would rather have him miss one game than miss multiple games, is my point.
Yeah, that's the main concern I have. You know, I understand the people that say, oh, they're football players. If he's able to go out there and play football, that's what he should do, you know, and whatnot. But my old concern, and I agree, you know, that's your job. Go out there and play football. You know, like everybody gets hurt. And by the end of the season, everybody's playing hurt. There's not one player playing in the entire league that's not injured somehow. You know, it's a physical game. They get hurt. But I'm worried about him going out there and say he is 85%. And with these conditions and whatever, he starts slipping, sliding, and now tears that groin, pulls that groin even more. And now we lose him for half the season, you know? So it's like at some point, like you have to protect the players from themselves, because we know how Kittle is. We know how he you know, like he wants to be out there, you know, and that's something too I wanted to touch on is before I do that. Everybody enter your numbers. I'll give you guys 1 more minute. Get your numbers in. Hey Vash, appreciate you stopping through.
Sure.
Is people, you know, I heard this week once the news came out that Kittle was injured and whatnot. This is how freaking crazy these people are. It started coming out that he was doing this on purpose because Jimmy was back, and that if Jimmy were starting, he would be playing. But since Jimmy's back and Trey's the starter, he's faking this injury because he doesn't want to have to play with Trey.
And this is coming from 49er fans.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like this shit just gets it's so crazy. The things like, man, like, are we kidding? Like this guy's a professional, you know, like, and there were times, you know, I was pissed off during like at the beginning of last season when like, you know, Kittle like seemed like he would be answering questions like weird about Trey, you know, but like, I get that they were asked 6,000 questions about the quarterback freaking carousel every freaking day, you know, and they're just trying to play football. So like, I get all that, but like, you know, we know that he was a huge supporter of Jimmy, right? And so like, I just felt like some questions were kind of snarky, but like, I got over it. But never would I fucking think in a million years that this professional that loves playing football. You know, the guy loves playing football. He wants to be out there any chance he gets, you know. The guy got paid so much fucking money, was the highest paid tight end, and still is going out there trying to push through injuries, play regardless, you know. And yet now we're going to start pushing some narrative that, oh, he's faking injury because he doesn't want to play with Trey Lance. It's like, I just can't.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Kittle honestly has been really positive towards Trey. Like Kittle has said that he's excited to play with Trey, and he has come out and said that he knows Trey Lance brings another dimension to their offense, and he's excited for, you know, the next dimension that Trey brings to the offense. So Kittle's been positive about Trey. So why the hell would he be like, oh, I'm going to fake an injury so I can not play with Trey Lance? Like, Trey Lance is the starter of the 49ers. If you don't want to play with Trey Lance, you better ask for a trade and get your ass on another team.
Totally agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if that, I mean, and I know that's not Kittle, but yeah, seriously,
Well,
like
no,
if you have that kind of mentality, take the C off your chest and then go play for another team, because this is 49ers football at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So yeah, these narratives are crazy. Like I said, these fools stay keeping their head in Jimmy's lap. Like it's ugly how much they ride this dude. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't get it. It's just, I'm just ready for September 11th, you know, and just, I just want Trey to go out there, just to go out, you know, and the reason why a Niner by nature, I said I don't think Trey's going to blow the doors off because I don't think he has to.
I'm drawing the winner.
I think this, what's it say here?
What the hell? It went to 0.
Did it? That's funny. What does that say? 80. I can't even see it. Oh, hold on.
I can't
64.
either. Oh,
64. I see it now. Yeah. But yeah, it's just I don't think Trey's gonna have to blow the doors off. I think, like I said, I think this defense is gonna end this game pretty quickly. I just have a feeling it's gonna be like 21-10 or something at halftime. That's just my opinion, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's crazy how these people, every single thing, every time something comes up, whether it's, you know, somebody being injured or, you know, like you said, the captain thing, it's like everybody wants to bring some kind of excuse about, you know, this is what's going on. Oh, it's because of Trey. Everything that's bad that happens with a team is because of Trey. Somebody's injured. Oh, they don't want to. Somebody's injured. Oh, they just don't want to play with Trey. He's not. There's not enough caps. Oh, because they don't trust Trey. Like, it's just, it's comical. Like, I just don't get
Jimmy
it.
takes a pay cut and nobody wants to trade for him. Oh, that's because they don't trust Trey. Like,
exactly. So
that, you know, what kills me is, honestly, and maybe it's just me, but I had never, in all my years as a 49er fan, people said that Steve Young got this kind of hate, but I do not remember Steve Young getting this kind of hate. And I was a 49ers fan back then, so maybe I'm just delusional and don't remember, and maybe I'm too old, maybe I'm getting dementia, I don't know. But I do not remember Steve Young getting this kind of hate. But people, like, don't remember any QB in 49er history getting as much hate as Trey Lance is getting. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
before I even playing.
Exactly.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, he hasn't
So
even like played. Like, and I hope 49er fans are ready for bumps. You know what I mean? Like, for like bumps and, like ups and downs. And he's not going to be perfect. He's not going to be perfect.
Yeah. JV trying to make a comeback on Tia. Look, he's trying to gain some ground back.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree, Denise. It's just, it's sad because, they gave Jimmy so much like rope to hang himself last year. Like you said, at the Bears game is when Kyle finally had to take off the headsets and say, "Hey, are you ready? Can you do this?" or whatever the case may be. And I have a feeling that, I don't think it's going to happen, but I just think that, if Trey starts off slow, it's going to be, take him out, put Jimmy in. When we started off 3-5 and Jimmy was horrendous the first half, probably I don't think he played not one great game. Like, I can't remember any games last year where he just blew the doors off. I'm like, oh man, Jimmy was out there doing his thing. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, think of no game ever.
I mean, the best game he's ever had was against the Saints.
I was just going to say that, TL. That's the best one Jimmy ever had.
And that's the only game I can sit back and think, like, man, he was out there dealing it. Like, so the fact that we let Jimmy go have the reins at 3-5. And they still trusted him. I want that same energy from the fan base to be like, okay, we're 3, whatever the case may be, whether 2-2, whatever, and still be for Trey and not talk this nonsense of, he just not ready and put him in and, put Jimmy in, all this other stuff. Like, give this kid a chance.
Yes, I agree. And like people do realize, right, that it's probably, I mean, tell me, TL, if I'm wrong. I'm thinking we're not going to see Trey at his full potential until year 2 or 3. That's what I think.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, I think he'll start hitting his stride probably by week 9 or 10, in my opinion. I think where people are like, man, like this kid is really starting to get into a groove, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, he has, to me, like looking at first year as a starter, he has a pretty hard schedule as well. It's not like he's playing scrubs. Like, the AFC West is arguably the best division in football, and he has to go against every single one of those guys. So yeah, I don't really have any issues. I think he'll be okay. Of course, like Miss Deb just said, there's gonna be some bumps. So we have to accept that. Like, you know what I mean? If you're gonna accept mistakes and bumps from an 8-year vet, please accept them for his first year starting quarterback that's 22 years old. That's all I got to say.
Exactly.
Well, that's what I said earlier. That's what I said. I'm like, I hope 49er fans are ready for some ups and downs, because Trey is not going to be perfect. He is not going to be perfect. But like you said, Jimmy wasn't perfect. Jimmy was far from perfect. That's why we traded his ass in.
And you know what's crazy about it is, too, people were looking at, the Justin Herberts of Patrick Mahomes and how they came out and just started lighting the league on fire. But it's like, okay, yeah, that's 2 quarterbacks that you can name. Name the rest. Because usually quarterbacks don't start being, getting into their zone year 2 or 3. Like, it's rare that you get a Patrick Mahomes season as a second-year starter or a Justin Herbert for, whatever the case may be. So this fan base is just so impatient. And people like to say, well, you guys weren't patient with Jimmy. I mean, come on now. Weren't patient with Jimmy. We gave the man 4.5 years. What are you talking about? So, yeah, I think before United Throwbacks talking about Josh Allen is a perfect example, where it's like the first year he wasn't good. The second year you see him started getting better. And last year is when he was just off the hook. Amazing.
That's exactly why I asked that question, TL. Yep. That's exactly why I asked, because that's who I'm comparing him to. Yep. Like, look at how good Josh Allen is right now. Man. That's exactly what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I said year 2, year 3, I'm like, we'll know, to me, you'll know where, like, what kind of QB Trey Lance is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. JV, are you here?
He said he found his good luck charm.
Yeah. I'm going to have him see which one of these he wants, but I need to make sure he's here. Chrissy had said, I had season tickets back then, between when the Joe to Steve happened. She said they were, sad that Joe was gone, but they loved Steve. And obviously, there wasn't social media back then.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Ryan says, I remember most of the adults in the early 90s always saying, put Joe in, or Joe could do this or that, but us kids like Steve. Beto said Niner fans hated Young. They were Montana lovers. So probably there was still some of the same going on, but we just didn't hear about it because, there was no social media.
Facebook and Instagram,
That's true. I didn't think about that. Social media wasn't big back then. So, yeah, that's a very valid point. I didn't think about that.
All right, JV, you can pick out of these. Got Ambry Thomas.
Charlie Warner.
Autograph. Charlie Warner autograph. He's going to be tight end 1 this week, so better get on board. Or this Brandon Ayuk with the jersey, Great Expectations.
Ooh, I'm gonna guess he's gonna go with the Ayuk card.
I think he got one similar, I think, to this, but not this.
Oh, I was gonna say BA. He's gonna be the breakout player of the year.
Yep. We're all on the BA hype train here. And I also gonna have a lot of Diamador Lenore stuff coming. We're on the Diamador Lenore train here. And obviously, I'm gonna be all aboard the Womack train, but he don't have stuff out yet. So as soon as he does, then we're going for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I have to admit, I was sad when Shark left because I really liked him. Like, I really liked him, but Womack, thank God that he is. I think he's going to be a phenomenal replacement. Like, he's stellar.
I mean, he has everything that the knocks that Shark had, like Womack has going for him. Like all the stuff, the things that Shark wasn't good at, Womack is good at. So as long, we have to see obviously Womack do it, but he, from all accounts, he can be better than what Shark was,
He absolutely he can. Yep.
And to have somebody back there that can actually get turnovers, that can get interceptions, like that's what this defense has been lacking. Like if there was one gripe or complaint that I had about this defense for the last few years, it's that we didn't get no turnovers.
Yep.
We were in the bottom of the list in turnovers, like all these freaking last years, even though we had a top defense, so
which is crazy. Yeah, for the people who are kind of new to this show, I said this on our anniversary show. I truly believe the 49ers as a whole, not just the secondary, as a whole, are going to have more than 15 interceptions.
Yep, I think so too.
Oh, I think so too. I think I'm so excited because the things we sucked at are turnovers and special teams, and I think hopefully our special teams is greatly improved this year too.
Yep. Yeah, I mean it looks like it. And from, I don't know if you guys heard Robbie, they were questioning him in the locker room, I think yesterday. And he was talking about the difference between, this special teams coach and, that Robbie's like, he's a film junkie, special teams junkie, his brother's a coach and whatnot. So he was saying, obviously this wasn't something that's been happening the last few years with Hightower, because he was saying that with this coach, has specific things he wants them to do. He's in there watching tape. He's telling them how to get faster at this. He's having the defense learn from the offense learn from the defense. He's like stuff we never did before. He's like, and if a coach can come in and be able to teach, somebody that's been in the game for so long, new stuff, and keep, get his mind working and get him interested in things again. He's like, he's bought in, like that's all he needed to see. So it's like, awesome. Yeah.
I did not see that interview. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's good. What's up? Hopefully I don't butcher your name, Avion, I'm going to guess. Hopefully I didn't get that wrong. I think you're new to the channel. So if so, welcome. We appreciate you stopping through.
Yes,
if you've been here before, sorry that I don't remember. Another, speaking of injury, and then we'll get into how we feel about this Bears game, is by all accounts, Mike McGlinchey will be starting. And that's been one of my biggest worries going into the season, and not just week one, but the season in general, and especially after him, re-injuring himself or whatever happened, was that he wasn't going to be healthy to play, and we don't have who's going to replace him, So that's great news if that's the case, if he is able to play. Obviously, we're going to have to see. Hopefully he can make it through the game. He wasn't even playing in a real game. I think he played one snap in preseason and got injured again or something, So, that's going to be scary too. Yeah. Like to see him get into the game and how he, hopefully he holds up, because I'm very worried about who we have to fill in after him by the looks of everything in preseason. So, that's great news. How are you guys feeling about that? And if something does happen, say, hopefully knock on wood that it doesn't, but let's say, he gets in for a couple series and just feels like he can't go anymore, or, whatever. How are you feeling about whoever's supposed to be kind of fill in for him?
Yeah. A little worried. I ain't gonna lie. I hope he's okay. I know this coaching staff is gonna put players in if they feel like they're comfortable. They're not gonna risk them injuring themselves for games or or seasons or careers even. So I think we should be okay. I know Daniel Brunskill is supposed to not dress. So if something does happen to McGlinchey, I think we're looking at probably Colton McKivitz. So I don't know. We just
or that new guy.
That's just right.
What is it?
I don't know. I know who you're talking
I know
about.
it rhymes with Trey Lance.
Yeah. So either that or I don't know. I think it's funny too because we've talked about this. We've beat a dead horse and everything, but we feel like the offensive line is the weakness on this team. So I just feel like if Mike McGlinchey can't go, I feel like they'll figure it out. Oh yeah, Hance, that's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. It's gonna be I don't know. But yeah, so I think it's gonna be interesting. I think he'll be okay though. But like I said, I think probably McKivitz or the new guy's probably gonna come in, but I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm kind of lost for words because I don't know. This offensive line scares me, Miriah. I ain't gonna lie. I'm scared. It makes me nervous. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. This line I just hope that they just shock us all and they go on there and they just start mauling everybody and just be like, okay, I'm gonna shut my mouth. This offensive line looks good. That's why I said earlier, this thing with Kittle, if he doesn't play, it's gonna be a big test because he's used so much as a blocker to help out. And if he's not in, it's gonna be interesting to see how everybody does on that offensive line.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Denise.
Yes, I actually agree 200%. I'm going to look at the offensive line, hopefully through rose-colored glasses, because I'm hoping, like TL, that everything holds together. And I am seriously worried about Mike McGlinchey even lasting all season, because the injury he's coming back from, some players don't ever recover from. Excuse me, losing my voice. Some players don't even recover from that injury. As far as they recover, but not football recover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come back and play.
Yeah.
So, he says he feels great, and according to, I think it was it Forrester or I thought it was him who said that he's got a few. Yeah, he had a few good practices and he's held up and he's looked good. So knock on wood, hopefully.
I know, Mike's gotten a lot of heat. A lot of hate from the fan base, over the last years, and because he's not as great in pass blocking as he is in run blocking. But it seems a lot of 49er fans are learning to appreciate Mike now because of what we've seen replace him while he's been gone. So now everybody's like, please let Mike come back. You guys wanted Mike off the team last year. Niner by nature, I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
Mariah, that is so funny. That's what I was thinking. I was like, last year everybody wanted, Mike McGlinchey benched and was like, get him off the team. He sucks. He's horrible. And now we're all, Mike, please stay healthy. Don't go anywhere. We need you. I'm like, oh, God, that's hysterical.
Yeah, and like Melissa says, the same concerns that we have for Kittle playing, if he's not 100% and with the conditions and everything, the same goes for Mike. Like, how's he going to hold up with the rain, with the, slippery surface, with everything, so I don't know. But
it is.
We're going to have to see.
Denise, and you made a good point too, because that same injury that Mike McGlinchey had forced Weston Richburg to retire. So some people just don't come back from that kind of stuff. So I mean, Mike McGlinchey is still pretty young. He was a lot younger than Weston Richburg when he had that same injury. So maybe that's why he's recovering a little bit better. But yeah, it does scare me. It does scare me that it could be an issue all season where where maybe he plays like a few series here and there just to keep him, or they say, you know what, we'll put you in this series. We'll let you sit out this next series. Kind of, but it sucks because then you don't get that continuity with the offensive line. Yep. So we'll see what happens. I'm putting my faith in this offensive line, and I'm just going to see what happens. But like somebody, I think it was Avion just said, we're probably going to run the ball a lot.
Yeah.
Especially I think in the second half, because, I just think second half it'll be out of hand. And I think Kyle's scared of what happened last year with Jason Verrett. He doesn't want that same thing to go on. I think he's just going to be like, okay, we're going to just ease up on the gas pedal. However, we're still going to play strong because we don't want no comebacks, So, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that's exactly why I brought that up, is because it's a 17, it's a long season. So I'm hoping that he can last like the whole season. That's literally going to be the true testament, is if he can hang on and stay healthy through the duration of the season.
Yeah, and if not, they need to be looking to draft somebody or pick up somebody in free agency, trade for somebody to replace him for next season, because you can't just go into the season then expecting, relying on him again then what? Like he could be it's going to be like the D Ford fucking thing all over again, he feels great for the first 2 weeks and then, gets into the season. Oh no, so it's like they need to have a replacement if for whatever reason Mike can't get through this season.
Or,
you can't go into next year relying on him.
Oh, not at all. And I can see something too, and I hate to talk about injuries, but it's just the fact of the matter that it happens. But yeah, I feel like, if it's something where if we're like 8-1, 9-1 or something in the middle in the season, and if let's just say he does get hurt, I can see a trade happening mid-season as well. Be like, because the team was just too good to let that slide. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be interesting. I pray for that man's legs though. I know there was a horrendous injury. And I don't wish that on nobody. Like, that's a bad, especially for an offensive lineman. Like, that's the worst. There's somebody who has to bend all game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and not just that. Hopefully, next year we go O-line heavy in the draft
or free agency one. Yeah, exactly.
It's what'd you guys pick? All O-linemen. We didn't go anywhere else. That's all we drafted was O-line.
Melissa says, I believe in the B's, Burford, Brendel, and talking myself into Banks. And, at the beginning, it's like one of our biggest worries was the center, was Brendel. And if whoever won the job and whatnot. And, obviously, as it got further along, we realized and saw that it was going to be Brendel. But like, that was one of my biggest worries. Like, okay, this guy hasn't played a lot. He's been bounced around teams, was on the practice squad and whatever. But now, I'm feeling more comfortable with him than I am some of the other positions across the O-line. So, I don't know. He didn't show me anything through the preseason to be worried. I feel fine with the center position now.
Yeah.
And obviously the left side. But that right side, I don't know.
Right.
It's scary.
The left side, we've got the, best left tackle in football. So, yeah, we definitely don't have to worry about that.
Avian says, O-line is young. They will learn and grow, which I agree. And I'm glad that, they're actually growing our own guys. Like, give our young guys, the guys that you drafted, give them a chance, like if they suck, obviously don't let Trey Lance die out there. But, like that's what you draft these players for, like I feel like it's the same with like regular jobs, for us normal people. It's like places that want, oh, well, do you have experience? It's like, no, because nobody will hire you without experience. So how the hell are you supposed to get experience? It's like the same situation. It's like, how are these guys going to get better? And the same with Trey. Like we heard, oh, just has to play. He just has to play. Well, then we can't be scared to let him get out there and play, like, because they need to play. They need the reps.
That's what irritated me when people were like, oh, well, they're going to bench Trey. How is Trey going to get better if he doesn't play the position? Like, he's not going to get better sitting on the bench. Like, he's got to play. And I agree with you, Miriah. I love that we grow our talent. Like, I love that. Like, and I think that's one of our things as 49er fans. We're so used to being so dominant that like we don't have patience. Like we want all of our players to be superstars, like right off the bat.
Yep. And I feel like obviously we're a complete night and day difference with the Rams. We know that they go out, get all their players from the streets, right. And pay them big money and all this, And I just feel like the way that we do things, it's going to make this team good for a longer amount of time, because we have these players that are growing up, like they're still young, they're in their first contracts. And then, whether we sign them or not, say we do sign them, the average, let's say 3 years. So that's 7 years that we're having these guys that we're drafting and growing there. Where the Rams, they go out and trade for a star that's going to be with them a couple years. And then what? In 3 years, when that team's poor and all their stars are old and retiring, it's like, then what? Our team's still going to be good because we've been growing our talent this whole time, and like what they've been doing the last couple years since our roster has been, pretty good. They're drafting players to sit back and grow behind the stars that we do have. So when they do go other places or retire, we have people waiting in the wings to take their spots, and that's what we're seeing with the O-line right now. They drafted O-line last year. They drafted O-line this year, picked up guys. These guys were waiting in the wings because they knew, that Lakin was going to leave. They knew that they weren't going to be able to afford him. They knew that there was a possibility that Mac was going to retire. So they had these guys there waiting in the wings, learning, growing. We had to just give them a chance to go out there and do what they got to do. They're professional football players. It's like, and as much as I'm worried about the O-line, like I just have to keep telling myself that, with as good as this team is, they wouldn't just put scrubs out there on the O-line. They're not just going to go and know that our entire season could be wiped out if Trey Lance is behind a shitty O-line and either that O-line gets hurt, something happens, or Trey Lance gets hurt and something happens. Our season's over.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this question, because I keep hearing people say, oh, we need to develop. So are we in agreement that no matter what happens with the offensive line with Burford, Banks, and Brendel, that we keep them in no matter what, just like we do with Trey? Like if we're gonna let Trey take his bumps, do we do that with the offensive line as well?
I think so. And plus we have nobody better to take their spots anyway. So we're gonna just replace them with a bum. Like even if it's a veteran that has experience, it's going to be the same thing. What he fills in and plays for, the last, we'll say 7 games of the season. And then he's off to a new team or whatever next year. And then what, we got to put these guys in to start this experiment all over again.
Yeah. The reason why I asked, because like, let's just say if Banks is struggling, just using his name, Banks is struggling. It's like 4 or 5 games. So like, man, I don't like the way he's looking. Do we take him out and say, we're going to put Daniel Brunskill in because we know what he can do? That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like we have to keep, and I'm not saying you guys, I'm talking about fan base. Like, if we're going to be all in with development, we need to be all in development with everybody. We can't pick and choose like, oh, well, Trey's struggling, but we can't keep him. It'll mess up his confidence. Well, that goes for any position. Yeah. So do we do that with Banks? Do we do that with Brendel? Do we do that with Spencer Burford? I don't think we do. I think if we're going to get some, that's the only way you're going to get continuity as well, is keeping that same offensive line in. So I think we have to expect and be okay with the offensive line being as is and letting these guys grow together.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should keep him in. Like, why are we going to put in freaking bum skill? Like, that guy sucks. So, you know, he couldn't even beat out the starting job for center behind freaking, you know, like, and what? We're going to replace him? Like, if he was that good, he would have beat out these other guys. He can play all the way across the line. So if he could do it, he would have done it. He can't.
Yeah.
Or else he would have beat him.
Absolutely.
So why would we be replacing him for a bum?
Yeah, that's true.
And honestly, I can't, I would shout the guy out, but I cannot remember who uploaded it. But one of the 49er people uploaded a video breaking down, because when people were complaining about the last preseason game and saying like the O-line was horrible, and you know, Banks and Burford and all them, like how bad they were, and they were saying, you know, how bad Banks played and stuff. And it was funny, like he uploaded the video and he like literally like broke it down, like, you know, like section by section by section, and like broke it down. They didn't play that bad. Like he like literally like broke it down, and like if you really sat and watched it like play by play and the way he broke it down, they weren't as horrible as all of us thought. And I was at a concert, so I didn't even watch that game. I had to go back and watch it like after the fact. So I, you know, but I watched his breakdown and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, they weren't as god awful as everybody said they were. I mean, they weren't perfect by any stretch either. I mean, but they weren't as god awful either. Anyway.
Beto had asked, question for everyone. Javon Kinlaw, over or under 2 sacks against the Bears? I'm going to go under, just because, you know, obviously that's not what he's set out there to do. Like, we need him out there to stop the run. Obviously, if he gets a sack along the way, that's wonderful. But I'm not expecting him to be having no high number of sacks at the end of the season. Like, I just need him to be out there taking double teams, freaking stopping the run, doing what we drafted him to do. Like, that's what I need him to do. So I'm going to go under.
Yeah, I'm going under too.
Yeah, I'm going to go under. I think he might have, I'm going to give him 1, but I think he has a sack and a forced fumble.
Yeah. He might. I think he'll definitely probably have some balls batted down. Like, that seems to be like what his, you know, thing is. You have that big ass body out there in the middle of the line. I mean, he should be batting down everything.
Yep. Yeah, I don't need like for him, like you said, Miriah, for him to have, I mean, it'd be great if he had 10, 12 sacks, but that's not what this defense needs.
Exactly.
We need him. I've said this before in spaces, because, you know, I looked at, you know, the way this defense reminded me, we need him to be like Justin Smith. Just take on the double teams and let the edge rushers eat. Because like when we had Justin Smith, Ahmad Brooks, and Alden Smith were always getting to the quarterback because Justin Smith was eating up 2 and 3 blockers. That's what we need from Javon Kinlaw.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that boy is huge. Like, whoo, he is in great shape this year. Like, man.
Yeah. If he can stay healthy, man, that defensive line, that defense as a whole. You know, and I'll keep going back to this and keep saying this, that the success and everything of that defense being as great as what we think it can be, relies a lot on Javon Kinlaw being healthy and living up to what we drafted him to be.
Didn't you and I put him in our top 3 of expectations? Yep.
Let's do another giveaway, and then we'll talk about our expectations for this Bears game. So everybody drop your numbers in the chat, 1 through 100, no duplicates. I think the only one that's probably new is Avion. So we do giveaways throughout the show, and we do it with a number generator. So you just have to enter a number in the chat, 1 through 100. Make sure you don't enter a number that's already been entered, or else it won't count. And then I'll give you guys a couple minutes, and once it's done, then I'll draw a number, and whoever's the closest will win. So good luck, everybody.
JG said he's going to have 2.5 sacks for Kinlaw.
That'd be nice, but I don't know about that. How about let's go with the matchup that you guys are most excited to see, you know, whether that's our wide receivers, a group against whatever, or a specific player going against, a weakness of theirs. So the one you're most excited about and the one you're most worried about.
I'm gonna go. Okay, the one I'm gonna go the one I'm most worried about. I guess you could say most worried about. I would say Robert Quinn over Mike McGlinchey. That scares me. That right there could be a nightmare. If Kittle is out, I can see Charlie Warner being over there to help block. So that's the matchup that scares me the most. The one that I'm looking forward to. Well, here I'll give you another one. I was going to say the same thing. Charvarius Ward and Darnell Mooney would be a good one too, but I think
Hold on, real quick.
yeah.
The last winning number was 64.
Yeah. I think Mooney, he's an underrated receiver and he's their best weapon, I think, on offense. But I think whether it's Charvarius Ward or Emmanuel Mosley, I think we'll be fine. But the one I'm most looking forward to, I would say, Brandon Ayuk on whoever's covering him. Like, I think he's gonna eat. I think I only have Trey throwing. I know we're gonna do our predictions, but I only have Trey throwing 2 touchdowns, and I think he'll be one of them. For sure. So those are my matchups that I'm looking forward to and not looking forward to. What about you, Denise?
Yeah, I was going to say the ones I actually agree with you. My worry is, the right side of the O-line against their defense. I am worried about that just because of, health concerns and Kittle not being in there. So I am, if he doesn't play, which I don't think he should. So there's that. So I am worried about that. And then the matchups I'm looking forward to, I was going to say, I am looking forward to Charvarius Ward against their top receiver. That I'm looking forward to that matchup.
Yeah. Obviously I agree about our O-line matched up with whoever on the right side. I'm excited to actually see the running backs as a whole. I think obviously this running back group is the best that we've had under Kyle Shanahan. So I'm expecting obviously with the additional, run aspect that Trey Lance gives us, I'm expecting this to be a very run heavy game. I'm expecting this to be a very run heavy season, overall, but especially this game, with it being rainy and whatnot. So we need these running backs to do well. We need them to hold on to the ball. Obviously, the ball is wet, the ball is slippery. And when they were preparing for rain games last year, Kyle was on record saying that they don't prepare like, most teams we hear about that they're out there with hoses and everything, wetting everything down, making the balls, so that they're all wet, pause, and all that. But Kyle said that he doesn't. He doesn't do that, So it's like, okay, well, if they're not preparing like that, hopefully they're doing something. But we need the running backs to hold on to those. So I'm excited to see them, how they do as a whole. And then obviously, we're expecting Ayuk to have a great season. That's my guy. So I'm excited to see whoever, because, we as a fan base are expecting Ayuk to be Trey Lance's, a target that Trey Lance goes to a lot. We're expecting him to have a breakout season. However, the league, still, the last thing they saw was Debo wrecking havoc on everybody. So their number one corners are going to be on Debo. Their number one guys of all these teams that we're facing are going to be on Debo, which leaves Ayuk with the number 2 corner, some chump, most teams don't have 2 corners. Like, we're very lucky this season to finally have, 2 great cornerbacks.
Yeah,
most teams don't have that. They'll have one big name, number 1 corner, and then they'll have a guy, so that guy is going to be who's lined up against Ayuk, who's covering Ayuk. And we see Ayuk get separation against the best of them as it is. We've seen countless times on film that Ayuk's just out there wide open, running around by himself, so I'm expecting Trey Lance to take advantage of that matchup, whoever he's matched up against.
Yeah. What's two more I was gonna say too, the film's out on Debo. Everybody knows who Debo is. The whole NFL knows who he is. So it's gonna and he's the one who killed the Bears the last time. So I truly believe it's gonna be one of those things where, their top corners gonna be on him, plus they're probably gonna have a safety helping over the top. You know what I mean? So that, like you said, that's going to leave Brandon Ayuk single coverage probably majority of the game. And that's why I say whoever's on him, it's going to be a nightmare for him, because there's this deep. Now that we have Trey, there's no more clear out routes. Right. There's no more like, go run a go route and clear out everything for the middle. He's actually going to be getting the balls thrown his way. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I truly believe he's going to have a good game. I say, yeah, he's going to have a good game. I think he catches at least one touchdown for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we have too many weapons on this team right now for them to be able to guard everybody. So somebody has to be having a more favorable matchup, We now have a quarterback that can take advantage of those things. In the past, it's like we would constantly see like, oh my God, he's lined up against blah, 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 and Jimmy's not taking advantage of it. Like he's lined up against Paul from freaking accounting and Jimmy's not taking advantage of the matchup. Well, because he fucking couldn't.
Paul from accounting.
Now we have a quarterback that can.
I do you one better from the people who watch Martin, Bob from marketing. You remember him?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
No, I totally agree.
So now we have
Miriah.
A quarterback that can take advantage of those matchups, and like you said, we won't have clear out routes because Trey can freaking throw to these people. Exactly. So yeah, I'm expecting, obviously if we don't have Kittle, that's going to be huge to the run game, obviously to the passing game. But I do feel confident with the fact that, we know that they kept 4 tight ends. So Charlie, he's a great blocker. And anytime that we've had to use him in the passing game, he's been great at that, even though it hasn't been, too much. But yeah. I have full faith that he can get the job done. Dwelly, it's Dwelly. He has the best hands, I think, on the team, but I don't know what the deal is. We talked about this before, why he doesn't get used the way he should. But, when Kittle is out, that's who usually steps in is Dwelly in the pass game. So, and if you think about it, Trey was probably working with Dwelly a lot last season.
Yep.
So they probably have a better connection than what Trey even has with Kittle, because they haven't worked together very much.
I agree.
And even throughout training camp and stuff, Kittle wasn't out there practicing that much, so he has a whole season that he worked with Dwelly last year. So hopefully, that I think that we just have too much weapons for these Care Bears to be able to do anything about it.
Yep.
That's something I wish Kyle would do more of. Like, I'm a big Shanna stan, but one thing I wish Kyle would do more of is 2 tight end sets. I wish he would put that in his offense.
Yeah, and when I was so excited when we got Reed that year, because I loved him when he was in Washington. And
yeah, I did too.
So I was so excited to have Kittle and Reed out there together. And then obviously we know that, they were never healthy at the same time. So that sucked. But I know that's obviously what Kyle was going for, and it just hasn't worked out. And I think that they could do that with Dwelly and Kittle. But I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I wasn't even thinking Dwelly was honestly going to make the team till he went and balled out in the preseason, because I just felt like there's as much as we can all think Dwelly's great, for some reason, Shanahan doesn't use him like he should. We hardly see him. If Kittle's healthy, especially, we never see Dwelly. So
yeah,
it's weird.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't understand why Dwelly and Kittle aren't used in 2 tight end sets. I don't know. I don't get that. I'm like, why don't you ever do that, Kyle? I'm like,
maybe now that we have a quarterback that can throw to him, we might see it more often.
Because
hey,
we can all say what we want about Ross Dwelly. He doesn't get used much, but when he does get used, he usually makes a play.
Yeah,
whether it's a touchdown or whatever the case may be, he always does something. So,
but it's Dwelly can't block, so we know that's the thing against him.
That's his
issue. I agree with
yeah.
Myron. he's got great hands. Like I like Welly for that.
Everybody got your numbers in? We're about to draw for the drawing. Last call. Get your numbers in. So yeah.
Alcohol.
Huh?
No, I was making a joke. I said last call for alcohol.
Let's go with predictions. Score predictions. Who's going to win? Who's going to lose? What you got?
Well, of course, the 49ers are going to win. Hello.
Go ahead.
Well, what's the score going to be, Smarty
Go ahead,
Pants?
Denise. You can do your predictions first.
Shoot, score prediction. Let's see. They are supposed to have high wins, so let's see. Score prediction. A shutout. No, I'm kidding. I wish. Let's see. I'm gonna do 27-10.
Okay. Tia?
I'm gonna say 28-17, just because I think they're gonna give up a garbage touchdown.
And I'm gonna go 31-10. So we all pretty much have, a good whooping happening.
Yeah.
And, for the most part, there's been some delusional Bears fans making their rounds through through 49ers content creators, but there's also been ones that, obviously have a brain. And for the most part, it seems, they're expecting the 49ers to go in there and win as well. But, there's some that are saying that, they're going to kill us. And
oh yeah, I see. What did I see? Someone said the Bears 45 47, I think it was. The Bears 47 and the 49ers 10, and I was like okay. What the hell?
I don't think this defense gives the Bears more than 2 touchdowns.
I was like, if the 49ers get beat, if they slap 47 on the 49ers, we got some serious problems.
Miss Deb has it pretty close. She has 24-17.
I'm writing down everybody's score, so whoever gets the closest, you guys will win something.
Yeah. I think it'll be like 17-7 at halftime, and then I think it's gonna be over at halftime. To be honest, I just think, yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's why I said like 27-10, because I think they get a couple touchdowns, field goal maybe, and then
Yeah, I don't know. I think to go the opposite way, I really think, this defense is gonna have Justin Fields kind of struggling a bit. I just think that they're gonna be in his face so much. Like, I think he's gonna throw at least 2 interceptions. I think he throws 2 interceptions. I think he gets sacked at least 5 times. Honestly, that's not a homer take. I really think that's gonna happen.
I'm hoping this year, what I really want to see from our special teams is I would love to see us return a kick for a touchdown or a punt.
Oh my God, me too.
I have been dying to see that from a 49ers team. I'm like, come on.
It's been so long, right?
Man, I think we had one. I think Richie James had one, and then it got called back for holding, didn't it?
Probably.
A couple years ago. I hope Ray McLeod and Danny Gray, if he's going to be back there as well, they put some fear in people, because me and Miriah said, we haven't had nobody that scared anybody back there since Ted Ginn.
Yeah. I would dude, I will go crazy if that happens. I haven't seen that in I'm like, oh God, could that please happen? That would be so phenomenal.
Hold on. I'm about to draw the winner too, but let me make sure I get all your guys' scores written down. Hey, Reaper. I'm making my way down the list. Let's draw. I'll draw the number, and then TL, you can look to see who won that as I'm doing this. 90.
Dang, that's a high number. 90.
That is a high number.
Let me go back to where it was started.
Let's see.
That's really high.
I'm just so excited that we finally have football. A couple more days. For those that have no other plans for 49ers football Sundays, over at Nothing But Niners, on their Patreon, if you're signed up, it can be any tier. So the cheapest one's $5. And they stream the actual game. We'll be there streaming, and then myself, Mike from Nothing But Niners, Tony at times, NY to the Bay. We're all, there, talking and going over the game and watching it with everybody. So if you don't already have plans, and need somewhere to watch the game, somebody to watch the game with, we're there. I would love to see you guys over there. Dang.
We like the winners, Chrissy with 86.
All right. Congrats. I'm almost done. I think I got everybody. Oh, here we go.
Congratulations.
Callie Mike, what's up? Appreciate you stopping by. Got a bunch of new faces in here. Appreciate you guys. Peter. Hey, Peter. If you didn't get your score predictions in, that's what I'm doing, writing down everybody's score predictions. So if you'd like to put one down, I'll write it down. Whoever wins will get you some kind of prize for next week. Let's see where. I think I'm to the end. All right, we're caught up. Chrissy says me. Chrissy's from Vegas too, I believe.
That's
right,
nice.
Chrissy? I think she had told me that if my mind is serving me right. All right, Chrissy, which one would you like? I don't know if you saw him when I had showed John earlier. Got the Ambry Thomas auto. We got Charlie Warner auto. And let's throw in something else to give you something else to pick from. How about this new Drake Jackson rookie card?
Oh, I'm taking that one.
Astral.
That's awesome.
I know. The 2022 set of cards from them, the prestige ones, that look so nice. Like the colors, everything just looks really nice together. So let me know. Chrissy, up to you. Hey, Peachy.
New Mexico, born in Vegas.
Of course, Peachy. You're continued. Your family's in my prayers.
Absolutely.
I saw that, one made it home, and now I believe it's your dad, or I know another family member now is not. Yeah, I think you said your dad has COVID as well, right? So, yeah, your family's definitely in my prayers. You keep staying strong, sister.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. You're in my
Drake.
prayers. I'm sorry to hear that.
Drake, taking Drake.
I know it. That was a sweet looking card too.
Yeah.
That was a sweet card.
I was going to keep it for myself, but
I think he could be a superstar too.
Oh,
yeah, I'm so excited for him. Like so excited.
I think year 2 is when he's going to explode.
Yeah. I think he'll end up getting actually a lot of play still this season, but
yeah.
I think like he's the, number one starter opposite Bosa starting next season.
Absolutely.
Let's see, 1687. Congrats, Chrissy. Are you on? I don't remember if you're on Twitter or not. If so, DM me your address. If not, then I'll put my email in the chat and you can send it to my email. I just don't check my email very often, so like the emails just get lost in there because there's like 60,000 unread emails.
Oh, wow.
Ain't nobody got time for that. And this is like I got like 4 emails that I use and they're all full, so I just make a new one and start over.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
Peachy, everybody's sending prayers to you.
Yes, prayers.
JV. TL's tanning lotion.
I mean, he's He got a big tan since last week when he was on the show.
Yeah. Hanging out at the beach in San Diego will do that to you.
Well, that's because John came in calling Bash, TL. So
Yeah. Oh, Bash, I heard your tribute to me. I do love me some Porter subs, so thank you.
Denise,
Yes.
let everybody know what you got going on, where they can find you, about your podcast that you're on, all that good stuff.
Oh, I am on the Faithful Empire podcast, and it is going to be on Fridays at 3:00 Arizona time. I don't know what that's everybody else's time, but it's like, yeah, I'm not good with time zones, so I'm
I think he said 6 o'clock Eastern Standard, 3:00 Pacific Standard.
Okay.
On Fridays.
Yeah, and I'm just at Denise Granger on Twitter. That's my Twitter handle. And yeah, follow me on Twitter. Come check out our show. And yeah.
Yeah, make sure you guys go subscribe over there. Follow her. She's good people. Chrissy, I see you don't have Twitter. Here's my email I'm putting in the chat right now. If you can just email your address. I actually have mail day tomorrow, so I'm going to get everything together today for all the giveaways I have stacked up here, and everything will get sent out tomorrow. And that's including the things, if you won gifts from the anniversary show and they were on my side, those will be mailed out tomorrow as well. I'm sure TL stuff already is out.
Yeah, I was waiting on another address to come in so I could send it all at once, but I have everybody's and I sent them out yesterday actually. So
okay. Yep, so you guys will be getting everything soon. And yeah, make sure you guys go follow Denise. Any closing thoughts? Anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here?
It's supposed to be high wind too. I was going to say, yeah, it's supposed to be high winds, not just rain. It's supposed to be really windy. So
yeah.
I have final words. Like I said, I think 2 interceptions and 5 sacks from our defense. I'm gonna say Elijah Mitchell has 2 touchdown runs. I think he's gonna get the game ball.
Nice.
Honestly. Yeah, I think Elijah Mitchell has. I don't know if he'll get 100 yards, but I think we'll get in the red zone and they'll give him the rock, and then he'll score 2 touchdowns. And I think Trey is probably going to have 2 touchdowns, both in the air. And I think one goes to Ayuk, and I'm going to say the other one's going to go to Ray McLeod. So those are my predictions.
Nice. Before I give my final thoughts, I'm going to still give away this Ambry Thomas card because it's his birthday. So I said I would give it away. So everybody that's in the chat, start spamming the chat, because I'm just going to go through and randomly click on a comment, and whoever I click on is going to get it. So make sure you got some comments in there. I don't care what you guys spam it with, but get your comments in there. And like always, we tell you guys all the time, and we'll continue to tell you, we appreciate you guys being here. We've had pretty much over 20 people in here the entire time on a Friday evening, when I know there's other shows going on and you guys are here. So we definitely appreciate it. You guys could be out at the clubs, getting frisky, but instead you're here, kicking it with us.
Getting frisky.
So yeah, we appreciate you guys so much. I am going to go with Trey Lance having 3 touchdowns, 2 in the air, 1 on the ground. I do think Mitchell has a great game. Hopefully, I would like to see, well, we don't know, I'm guessing all the running backs. Well, is he going to dress all the running backs, you think? Or
he kept 4, right? He'll probably only dress 3.
So I wonder who.
I think Mason will probably won't dress.
That's what I was going to think as well. Yeah, I mean, so hopefully we get to see all the running backs get, a little action and see what they can do out there. What else predictions do I have? How many sacks do you think Bosa gets? How many sacks is our D-line going to have anyways?
Ooh.
5. I'm telling you, at least 5. But
I say 6.
if you want to go with a definite number, like I'm thinking 5 at the minimum. So I say at most 8, and if we get 8 sacks, which would be awesome, I think Bosa would have 2 of them.
Nice.
And
hey,
I
Joel.
think I'm having all these kind of predictions. I think it's gonna sound kind of crazy, but I think Hufanga leads a team in tackles.
I mean, I could definitely see that.
I'm going to say Trey Lance runs a touchdown in.
I think Womack has an interception.
Yeah. I'm thinking I'm gonna go Mosley and Womack. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna throw towards Charvarius Ward much.
Yeah,
especially if he's guarding Dante Pettis. Every time I say that man's name, I laugh. I'm sorry. Like
he ain't gonna be guarding Dante Pettis.
Well,
he's gonna be on their number 1 wide receiver.
I think,
and that ain't Dante Pettis.
So that's gonna be Mooney. Then he'll be on. You think?
Yeah.
So then Mosley will be on Pettis because they have injuries at the receiving position. In Kill Harry's hurt and somebody else.
But I saw that there's still another wide receiver over Pettis. So
is it Equinemius St. Brown?
Probably. I don't know. But there's another healthy wide receiver on the depth chart ahead of fucking Dante Pettis. So if you're planning to see Dante Pettis out there all game, I don't think you're going to.
Oh man, that guy.
Dante Pettis is going to be sitting on the bench holding a kitty.
Petting his kitty.
Is he petting his cat on
all right, whoever's next comment to go on the screen, that's who wins this autographed Ambry Thomas card. So let me scroll around.
Holding this cat on the sideline. That's hilarious.
Playing with this kitty on the bench.
That guy. I knew he was gonna be soft. I watched this video of him, and I don't know who it was, his brother and a couple of friends. They did this trip in Hawaii.
Okay.
And the way they were acting in the hotel room.
Hold on, let me know when a comment goes on there, so I know I'm clicking it right.
Let me see.
Not yet. Yep. Joel! Congrats, Joel. You are the winner. He came in just in time to win, to swipe the prize at the end. You win this Ambry Thomas autographed card, Joel. Congratulations.
He came in like Swiper the Fox.
Yep.
If you know, you know. Swiper the Fox.
Swiper, no swiping.
Yep.
All right. Congrats, everybody. Appreciate you guys.
Congrats to all the winners.
Kinlaw's going to be on Pettis. Oh, yeah. Miss Debbie, she's having a raffle right now for her crystal helmet. There's a crystal helmet and 2 footballs. I believe, Miss Debbie, the tickets are $20. I believe they're $20 each. Please get in contact with her on Twitter and buy some raffle spots if you can. They're beautiful, beautiful prizes. She has the pictures of them. You can see them there. Very, very nice. And those helmets go for a big pricey penny. So show our sister, Miss Debbie, some love. If you have the funds and are able to get in it, please do so. She's on Twitter under Top Hat Deb. So please get in contact with her and buy some raffle tickets. Even if it's something you may not want, some people, like, oh yeah, that's nice, but I wouldn't be able to do anything with it. You can buy a raffle ticket for somebody else, another 49ers fan, give it away, anything, help support.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You should raffle an aluminum foil hat. There's enough people out there with their aluminum foil hats on already. Mm-hmm. They sold, the stores are all sold out of foil. Between the meth addicts and the aluminum hat people, they don't have no more foil at the stores.
When does the raffle end, Miss Deb?
Well, it was supposed to end at the end of last month, but nobody bought the tickets, so she has to extend it. So once everybody gets in there and gets it filled up, then yeah, she'll end it. So yeah, she says $20 are raffle tickets, and she'll be on Twitter at Miss Debbie Deb. Miss Debbie DEBBIE Deb DEB. Go now. Buy one for your mom or somebody, granny, anybody. Just go buy one. All right, fam. We love you. Much love. We appreciate you guys for being here. We'll see you.
Shout out to both of you for having me on your show. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Of course. And
Anytime,
you said you're going to come Sunday for the instant reaction show? Okay. So Denise will be back Sunday. We'll be back for an instant reaction show right after the game. If the game ends up being a blowout or whatever, and I can, jump off of Nothing But Niners, I'll be here sooner. But most likely, as soon as I can, the game's over, I'll log off with Nothing But Niners, and I'll be over here to start us up. So we'll see you guys then. We'll give you guys some stuff away. Whoever gets the closest score prediction, we'll give you a prize away that day as well. Whoever wins, and if it's a tie, then we'll have to figure a way to go about tiebreaker. But if I don't see you guys, Sunday, I know there's a million other instant reaction shows. So if you happen to not be here, I'll keep your prize aside. You're not going to lose it. So and most of you guys, I already have your address, so I can just ship it anyways. But I'll let you guys know if you won. So yeah, everybody have a great weekend. Have a great football Sunday. Football's here. Oh, before we go, we didn't even talk about last night's spanking of the Super Bowl chumps.
That was awesome.
So everybody that knows me knows that Josh Allen's my favorite quarterback in the league, obviously besides Trey Lance now, but even when Jimmy was the quarterback, Josh Allen was my favorite quarterback. So to see him go out there, and I'm really hoping for a 49ers Bills Super Bowl. So to see him go out there and the Bills just totally freaking spank the fucking Rams. Ramsey looked like freaking Joe from accounting. Like, it was just terrible. Like, he gave up a perfect fucking passer rating.
Yep.
To Josh Allen last night. He was like targeted 7 times or whatever and gave up 6 catches, or targeted 6 and gave up 5, whatever the number is. Like, so crazy. That game had so many freaking turnovers from both sides. Like, it was ridiculous.
It was crazy. Did you see what Stephon Diggs said? He was just like on that long touchdown. He goes, it went in the huddle. Josh Allen just said, just go run and I'll throw you the ball.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
It's so nice to have a quarterback that can do that, right? Like, man.
Well, just that, but did you guys hear? I can't remember where I heard this. It might have been on like in the media somewhere. But I guess Jalen Ramsey was like talking all kinds of shit like before the game, like on social media or somewhere. He was like talking smack, and I was like, oh.
He said that Josh Allen shouldn't have been drafted and that he's not a good quarterback and like all this shit. And then like he goes out there and spanks the shit out of you. Like, and to see Von Miller, like, freaking taking care of business against his old team that he just won a Super Bowl with, like, that was great.
I know this.
And I think they said, they said there's only one other player. Like, if Von Miller, say the Bills, do end up winning the Super Bowl, and while Von Miller's there, that I think they said there's only one other player that's ever won a Super Bowl with 3 teams. And so he'll be the second one, if that were to happen. Like, that's pretty crazy. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, he was out there taking care of business. And I know a lot of people always talk about Patrick Mahomes, but I think Josh Allen might be better.
I've always liked Josh Allen better. And Mahomes' head's crooked anyway.
Oh my God.
I don't like it. Because he walks around like this all the time. Like, what the fuck is that about? Like, I don't get it. That's why he throws sideways and shit, because that's normal to me. Like, when your head's sideways, like, throwing sideways is normal.
Like, did he really walk around like this? I've never noticed that.
Watch, you'll see. Even while he's out there with a helmet on and everything, like, he'll get up done from a play and he's walking back to the line, like, with his belly. Like, he has like such a weird body too. Like, he has a belly sticking out. Like,
oh my God, you're pulling me right now.
Yeah. So I've always liked Allen over him.
Yeah. Hey, Bashar, actually, Josh Allen, he grew up around my hometown. He lives like about half hour away from Fresno.
Yep.
A little small town called Fireball.
Fireball.
It's like
All right.
There's literally like probably 10,000 people in that town.
Dang.
Oh,
It's
wow.
it's super small. Yeah, it's little. That just goes to show you if you're good, they'll find you.
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I just wanted to bring that up before we go out of here. We couldn't leave without talking about that for a minute. All right, fam. We appreciate you guys. We're out of here.
Yep,
Let me find my
take care.
damn.
You see
Let
Sean
me find my
Shepard's
thing.
comment?
No. All
Bye,
right,
guys.
bye.
Thank you.